Khloe Kardashian and Scott Disick respond to speculation about him getting her pregnant. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and update. Khloe Kardashian and Scott Disick have always had a very special and close friendship that fans have noticed for many years. But recently, both of them decided to finally talk about a strange and old rumor that many people still seem to believe even today. It happened during the very first episode of Khloe Kardashian's new podcast called Khloe in Wonderland. Khloe invited Scott as her first guest on the show, and they used this time to clear up something that has been around for a long time and doesn't seem to go away. Scott Disick, who was in a relationship with Khloe's older sister Kourtney Kardashian for many years, has always been close to the Kardashian family, even after he and Kourtney broke up. He and Kourtney share 3 kids together. Their names are Mason, who is 14 years old, Penelope, who is 12, and Rain, who is 9. Even though Scott and Kourtney ended their relationship many years ago, Scott has remained very close to the rest of the Kardashian family, including Khloe. That closeness has always made people talk and sometimes assume things that aren't true. During the podcast, Scott opened up about how people used to believe wild stories about him and Khloe. He explained that back in the day, especially in the late 2000s and early 2010s, gossip magazines and websites would write all sorts of crazy things about him and the Kardashian sisters. He said that his late parents, Jeffrey and Bonnie Disick, used to call him very often after seeing something in the news. They were often confused and wanted to know the truth. He shared that they would ask him things like, "Did you get Khloe pregnant?" He laughed while telling the story and added that he would jokingly reply, "Yes, Dad, I got Khloe pregnant." His dad, not really sure if he was joking or not, would just go along with it. Khloe quickly jumped in to clear up that the story was never true. She looked at Scott and said very clearly that he never got her pregnant. This moment was funny, but also important, because she wanted people to stop believing something that never happened. She also laughed with Scott, showing that even though the rumor was silly, they were both used to hearing such things and didn't take it personally. Scott continued to talk about how rumors used to fly around back then, especially involving the Kardashian sisters. He explained that people used to say he was romantically involved with all the sisters at one point or another. He said it was so common that it almost became a joke. Every week, there would be a new headline saying he had a new child with a different Kardashian sister. He even joked that if all those stories were true, there would be a lot more kids running around. Khloe also added her experience. She said that when she asked her followers who they wanted to see as the first guest on her new podcast, Scott was the most requested person. Her fans wanted to hear from him more than anyone else. But what really surprised her was the kind of questions her fans were asking. She said that 2 of the most asked questions were about her relationship with Scott. The first question was whether she and Scott had ever been romantically involved. The second question was why she and Scott were not married, considering how close they are. When Khloe mentioned the first question about them ever being involved, Scott playfully replied with a joke, pretending to agree. But Khloe immediately said very clearly that nothing like that ever happened between them. She wanted to make sure people understood that their relationship was based on friendship and nothing more. She was serious about clearing that up. Then she moved on to the second question that surprised her even more. People actually wanted to know why she and Scott had never gotten married. This question made Scott laugh and feel very confused. He didn't expect that at all. He said he thinks the reason people make up stories about him and Khloe is simply because they are very close and they get along really well. He said that people often see 2 people spending time together and assume that there must be something romantic going on. But he said that's not always the case, and in their situation, it definitely is not true. Scott also talked about how the rumors extended beyond just Khloe. He said there were even stories about him and Kendall Jenner, the younger sister of Khloe. That, too, was just something made up by people who didn't have the full story. Scott said he thinks people just look at who spends time with who, and then they try to create a bigger story out of it. He doesn't think these rumors have any real truth in them. They are just based on how people see things from the outside. Even though Scott said he can sometimes make inappropriate jokes or say things that are too much, he also made it clear that he never meant anything serious by it. He said that he is just naturally that way. He jokes a lot and says things that might sound wild, but he's just being funny and not serious. He said that people who believe these rumors are really getting it all wrong. He said it's crazy to think that there is anything romantic between him and Khloe. He used a word to describe how silly the idea is and said that it's completely not true. Khloe and Scott both seemed very comfortable talking about this topic. It showed that they really trust each other and have a friendship that is strong and can survive even the wildest rumors. They laughed together during the podcast, but also made sure to explain things clearly for anyone who might still be confused. Another important thing Scott talked about was his relationship with Kourtney Kardashian now. Even though they are no longer a couple, they work together very well as parents. He said they do their best to raise their 3 children in a peaceful and loving way. Even though their romantic relationship didn't last, their commitment to their children is strong. This shows that Scott still has a deep connection with the Kardashian family, especially because of his children with Kourtney. The fact that Scott is still part of family moments and continues to be seen with the Kardashians proves how strong their family ties are. Khloe and Scott's friendship is just one example of how close the members of the family are, even when relationships change. They respect each other and support each other, even in difficult or awkward situations like dealing with strange rumors. Scott also shared that his time with the Kardashians taught him a lot about being in the public eye. He has seen how quickly rumors can spread, and how people believe things even when there is no proof. He said it used to be frustrating, but now he tries to laugh about it and not let it affect him too much. He has accepted that people will always have opinions, but the truth is known by the people involved. Khloe added that she also has learned how to deal with false stories. Being in the spotlight means people will always try to guess what's happening in her life, even when they don't know anything for sure. She said it's important to stay true to yourself and not let other people's opinions change who you are. She's thankful for friends like Scott who understand that and can laugh with her about the strange things people say. Both of them agreed that friendship is very important, especially in a world where people often try to twist the truth. Their friendship has lasted for many years, through many ups and downs, and it remains strong. They care about each other and want the best for one another, but not in a romantic way. That is something they hope more people will understand after listening to their podcast. The podcast episode was a good example of how open and honest Khloe wants to be with her audience. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.